Hello everybody, today we're here in the world famous Sun Studios and we got a great tour guide here. Not a tour guide, but you're going to tell us a little bit about the history and everything.
Sure, I love
and your name is El Dorado.
El Dorado Del Rey.
I love that name, man. I love that name. So you've been here a little while, so you know a little bit about the history, huh?
Yeah, I've been here 13 years. 13
years? Okay. But that studio's been around a lot longer than that.
Oh yeah, this Sam Phillips opened the studio in 1950. And then he started his Sun Records in 1952.
Okay. And they call this place the birthplace of rock and roll. A lot of people do.
Oh yeah, many historians consider the song Rocket 88 to be the very first rock and roll song. It was recorded in 1951 by Ike Turner and his Kings of Rhythm. It actually came out under the name Jackie Brinston and the Delta Cats. That's a long story. But this song, it had all the elements that would come together and make rock and roll. The 4/4 beat, 8-bar blues structure. Plus it had a fuzzed out electric guitar, which would become the mainstay of rock and roll.
Absolutely.
And it's about chasing the chicks in your hot rod car.
It's all about rock and roll, right?
That's right.
Well now, and then, everybody associates this studio with like Jerry Lee Lewis, Elvis, the big names.
Well, first, Sam Phillips, he was really into blues music, and he focused on people like B.B. King. This is one of the very first places that B.B. King ever recorded. Howlin' Wolf, guys like that. And then Elvis came around in '53 just to check out the place and do a song supposedly for his mom. And then a year later, Sam Phillips would ask him to come back and actually officially record in 1954. Once Elvis came here, he did That's All Right, and that kind of blew the doors open, and that brought in Carl Perkins, and Johnny Cash, and Jerry Lee Lewis, and Roy Orbison.
Yeah, some big names. So, and they recorded right here in this actual room. And the crazy thing is, up to, nowadays even U2 came in here, right? Bono came in.
Right. They did part of their Rattle and Hum album here. They actually teamed up with B.B. King, one of the very first people to record here.
That's amazing. Now, we also know that after the tours go through here, tell us what happens here in the nighttime still.
Well, we give guided tours of the studio. You
tell us a little
can
bit
just
about
walk
those
in
tours. What about those
any
tours?
day of the week. We're only closed on Christmas and Thanksgiving.
You're dedicated.
So we're pretty much open when you show up. We give guided tours. They're once an hour.
Okay.
We tell people about the history. We play them music, outtakes from some of the sessions, and the room itself is largely unchanged from the 1950s. So it's kind of a cool time capsule.
Kind of the vibe going. I know that front office there, it's like got all the stuff from the 50s, right?
Right. Well, a lot of this is from the 50s. The amps, the microphones, and in fact, we use a lot of this stuff because, as you were saying, we're an active studio.
Yeah.
We're not really a museum. We're still a studio. We record people at night after the tours are done.
Wow.
And in the last year, we've had Chris Isaac and John Mellencamp and just tons of artists.
So it's going on here still at the Sun Studio.
Almost every night. We try to keep it analog, or so it still kind of has that same sound from the 50s. We use a lot of tube equipment. We use tape. But we also do full digital, so we can pretty much do whatever you want to do as a studio.
That's amazing. I know when people first come in here, I noticed you had a gift shop, you had a coffee, you had really good coffee in here. And he said, and we have sodas without corn syrup. We make them with real sugar.
Well, we don't make anything.
Right.
But we get the Cokes that have the real sugar in the bottles, But we actually have great coffee.
Right on. Well, walk us through a basic tour. So when they come in, they get in the gift shop, they get started, it's every hour. What are they going to see as they go through the tour?
Well, it starts off in our gallery upstairs. This is one big building. The studio itself is these three rooms. Okay. But next door there's a big two-story building. Right. And there we have a cafe, we have our record shop, and that's where people will first come in. Okay. When they first go on the tour, they will go upstairs into our gallery where we have stuff on display, some archival stuff that's on loan to us. Oh, nice. Well, that's where we begin the story of Sun Studio. And then we play them songs as examples of different artists, and we also play them outtakes from some of the sessions.
Wow, that's pretty good.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's real cool. And then they end up down in here, huh?
Then the second part of the tour, they actually come into the studio, and this is where we really blow their minds.
Wow, that's amazing. So, you know, any plans for the future of Sun Studio? They keep on rocking?
Oh yeah, we actually we have a TV show called the Sun Sessions.
Oh, okay.
And
what's the TV show about?
Well, they invite artists to come in and they film them recording an album.
Wow, that's amazing.
Live in the studio, and then they do interviews and stuff. It's on PBS. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Well, Eduardo, we've had this mic sitting in front of us this whole time, and there's a little significance to this mic. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, this mic actually came from Sam Phillips' private collection. It's one of the actual microphones used here in the studio in the 50s, and most likely used by Elvis Presley.
Yeah, all of them, huh? Came in here and hit this, but especially Elvis. Yeah. Now, you know, we noticed it was down, right? Right. You said you can't let your mic droop.
No, you can't let your
So what do you got to do? Show us how you do it.
You got to hold it like that. You got to kind of lean into it.
Ooh. With a little attitude.
Yeah, you do it.
The people like coming in here and they like going, I love you very much. And they pretty much come in here and take pictures with it.
Yes, yes. That's one of the highlights of the tour. People love to pose with it.
That's what you're looking at. A piece of Memphis memorabilia.
Correct.
That not everybody has. Probably this one in Elvis's hands right here.
Right on.
You gotta love it. Well, you know, you have photos hanging up in here as well, and this one was kind of significant. You got some pretty big hitters right here.
Oh yeah, this photo is known as the $1 Million Quartet. You've got Carl Perkins. He was actually in here recording that night.
Wow.
This is December of 1955. Then you had Jerry Lee Lewis, who at the time, he was unknown, but he was just about to break. And he was sitting in on this session. They had hired him to play piano for Carl Perkins on this one song.
All right.
Elvis walks in. He's been in
What's going on?
He's been in California.
Right.
He's already a huge star. Yeah, he just stopped by to see his old buddies. Sam Phillips knew the recording session would go nowhere. Called up a buddy at the newspaper, asked him to come down here. Then luck would have it, Johnny Cash showed up.
Wow. What
And got in the photo. They took the photo, and being the wild guys they were, they started jamming and they recorded it. And now it's available as an
That's
album.
amazing. Things happened back in those days, huh? Yeah. You never knew what you'd get. Just hanging out in Memphis, huh? Right. That's beautiful, man. Love it. Do you have any websites where the people can go and check all this out?
Sunstudio.com.
Sunstudio.com? Awesome. Well, thanks so much for having us in, Alvarado. Appreciate it. And thank you so much for being here. And until next time, just remember to enjoy.